Accelerate your game with the Head Extreme MP 2024. Like previous generations, the Extreme MP is loaded with speed and spin potential. With flashy neon yellow cosmetics that stand out on the court, the racket benefits from previous technologies, including Graphene 360 Plus material called Graphene Inside for additional power and stability, along with spin grommets for great snapback and spin. New to this update is Auxetic 2 material in the layup of the yoke and handle for a more responsive feel on every shot. The racket features a 4 points headlight balance, a 323 swing weight, and a 66 stiffness rating. I have been a big fan of the Extreme line and have play tested multiple generations of it, so I had a good idea of what to expect from this update. And right from the start, I found great spin potential and a very easy to swing racket. I really liked grooving from the baseline in practice cross court. I was able to get my ball nice and deep. And actually, my favorite shot to hit with this racket was the serve. For me, I was really able to get up and after my first serve, and I was getting some good power, good depth, and actually hitting a pretty heavy serve, which translated to some extra free points that I'm normally not used to. I even had one or two of the other play testers mention that how well I was hitting my serve. And when it came to second serves, I was equally impressed. Sometimes I can be a little bit tentative, but I was able to really access the spin potential and hit consistently a second serve and eliminate double faults throughout the play test. Volleys for me were just okay. I couldn't be tentative and I had to really focus on punching the ball deep. And when I was hitting returns, this is where I noticed that the ball could launch a little bit at times. So I just used that spin potential that was already there to kind of dial back in. And after a couple minutes, I was able to adjust and really go after my returns. Now I play tested the racket in a couple different situations, both doubles and singles, and I found I preferred singles play with this racket. I was actually surprised when I started playing points. I was actually shanking a little bit more than normal, and the more I hit with this racket, I continued to shank, and so I wasn't quite sure what was going on. I will say half the shanks went in, so I couldn't complain there. I noticed when I was hitting towards the tip of the frame, which I normally do, that's when I was experiencing the shanking, and I think this was because either the sweet spot is a little bit smaller or a little bit lower on the frame, so I just wasn't quite used to that. So overall, while I didn't quite gel with this racket, I thought it offered great maneuverability and spin potential.
Like with the previous version, I felt like this racket was designed for the more modern day game. I thought it offered really great access to spin, and I was actually finding really good depth on my shots with this racket as well. From the baseline, I really liked it on my backhand slice. I just felt like I could really knife my backhand slices with this one. And on my forehand, I felt like I was able to hit a lot of topspin on my shots, generate really good topspin and depth with it. However, like Brittany mentioned, I did find that I was shanking a little bit more often with this racket than I'm used to. I don't know if it was the slightly uptick in swing weight over the previous version, or maybe the distribution of weight was different, but I did find that I was shanking a little bit more with this racket. But luckily it was not the case up at net and on serve. I found that this racket just felt really solid in both those areas. So overall, I think this is a nice subtle update. It has an improved feel in my opinion, and it's a great option for players that are looking for a ton of spin.
I've really enjoyed the last few iterations of the Head Extreme MP, and I really enjoyed this one as well. I did take a little bit of adjustment period this time. I have been testing a bit of frames that were a little thinner in the beam. So initially I was catching the tip of this racket. I was really aware of it is a little bit thicker up there at the top. So I did take some adjustments there. I did like what that thicker beam does offer, however. It gives me lots of easy depth, easy pace, and I find this to be very spin friendly, much more so than my usual racket of choice, which has just a slightly tighter string pattern than this one. So again, just a little bit of adjustment. I did like this one from the baseline. Even when I was pushed off the baseline back into a defensive position, I felt I could easily get some height and depth into my shot to get me back into a better position on the court. At net, I liked the feel of this racket. I did find it comfortable and offered me good pace when I wanted to try to put that ball away. I really enjoyed it on serve, which is not something you're often going to hear me say. I was getting added zip without any extra effort on my part, so I really enjoyed that as well. Overall, although it did take a little bit of adjustment from me, I enjoyed this racket overall for its easy playability.
What's up, everyone? Super excited here to be talking about the Extreme MP 2024 edition. And this racket on paper is something that really should gel with my game style. Lots of spin, great power access, and as a more defensively oriented player, really helps to have that, especially defending on either wing. And I will say that for the most part, this Extreme MP is phenomenal. I really enjoyed how much spin you can really use to shape your shots from wherever you are on the court. And it felt like it was whippy enough to really drive through the ball. I do think that I really had to get like my weight transfer going. Otherwise, I wasn't really able to get a ton of good results. But once I got my mechanics dialed in, it was really satisfying. I do really enjoy volleying with this racket, and I'm not someone who's as comfortable up at net. So this encouraged me to really move forward and through the court and to finish off points a little bit more quickly. And then on serve, this thing was just a dream. Kick serves and top spin drives were super easy to go for, and I really enjoyed how it handled. And all around, it felt like this racket had a lot more finesse and feel compared to the previous versions of the Extreme that I've tried, which did feel a little tinny at times. And I will say that the Auxetic 2 really smoothed a lot of that out. So all in all, a phenomenal choice from Head. Not my favorite racket of theirs overall, but still a great option.
We strung up the Head Extreme MP 2024 with a couple different Head polyester string setups, including Head Lynx and Head Sonic Pro at around 53 pounds. For more information on this racket or any others, please check us out at Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.